Hey folks, this is Lonzo. This is what we do every Tuesday, y'all. Me and my man Dusty. And like I say every week, y'all, from the West Coast to the East Coast. Yeah, we got you talking about today, folks. All right, here we go. From the West Coast to the East Coast and everything between, folks. From Eve after Darkest Concert in the park. Live with boy Lonzo. Down by the West Coast hip hop and in the dugout. And no better still on the line, ready to talk about this. My man Dusty Vision, y'all. He's already here. Chat room is already fired up. Let's get this party started, y'all. We got a lot to do. What up, folks?
What up, Lons? What up, man?
Man.
We got a lot. Hey, we got to represent the West Coast tonight because for whatever reason, the West Coast had a lack of representation on the Grammys tonight. But before we get into that, Lonzo, because I know we're going to get deep into that, I know you went to Laylaw's services today. Tell everybody how that went. Was it a nice send-off?
You know, man, Laylaw's one of them brothers, if you knew him, and if he didn't like you, you knew it. Straight up, no chaser, no bullshit type of dude, laid back, funny dude, loved to hang out with him when I had a chance to. Talented brother. The funeral was well attended. I'm gonna say something that's even crazy. I was telling Greg Mack earlier. It was more people at Laylaw's funeral than it was at the Grammy Awards representing the West Coast.
Oh,
it was more people at Laylaw's funeral showing love for Laylaw than it was at the Grammy showing love for the West Coast. Now, now I know some of these folks might have been to the Grammys. I'm not sure. I'm kicking it with Warren G, Compton's Most Wanted, Tone Loc, Big Boy, Corey Holcomb was there, Darlene was there. I mean, just all kind of folks. You know, a lot of people that was there. I hadn't seen in a while, man. People who you only see, unfortunately, at these type of situations, man. Me and Tone was kicking it, and he said he knew me. I said, Cone, I don't remember meeting you, but he was at my house long before he even made his song. You know, so
damn.
He was on Delicious Vinyl, and so was my tenant at the time, a roommate, Rose. Her and D was on Delicious Vinyl, and Delicious Vinyl, Jeff was here, everybody was here, and he said he'd been in my house many a day. But you know, sometimes when folks blow up, they don't come back no more. So it's hard to remember everybody that came through here. Even Coolio. I mean, Coolio came through here quite a bit. He told me that my house a lot more, but he wasn't the brother with the braids at that time. He was another kind of dude. So sometimes people get past me. We had a chance to reunite. You'll be looking. You can expect an interview in the near future from Tone Loc. I hooked up with my man Hutch today from Above the Law. He said he'll come on and do the show, and they was all, hey man, just let me know. N.W.A, everybody. I mean, it was just a West Coast reunion, dude. And to see all these brothers who've been putting it in for the past 25, 30 years. Guys I've been knowing since they was 18, 19 years old, gray hair, 50-year-old men now, and ain't getting no love the way they should. I mean, I understand it was created in New York, and even that could be debated depending on who you talk to. That could be debated. If General Jeff here was here, he'd tell you something different. And you know, and I think about what he said. And me and Jeff didn't get along that well. Be honest with you, that's one of the few cats that I didn't get along with. But
from Uncle Jam's Army, right?
Uncle Jam's Army. But when the truth is real, I got to listen to it a little bit. I can't let my personal feelings or his personal feelings towards me interfere with what's real. And he had made a couple of points in a debate he had one time with some other folks, and I'm like, damn, that might not be. He might have a point there, and you know, but not to have anybody for the most part other than Dre and a couple of other people. I mean, it seemed like Dre represented the whole West Coast. And I got love for the brother, man. I'm proud of him. He's part of my legacy. I'm proud of him, but it's like, damn, dude. Did anybody else on the West Coast?
let's give everybody an update because not everybody may be up to speed with what we're talking about before we jump into this. So last night on the Grammys, and this is the first thing I noticed, Lonzo. I was like, okay, when's a West Coast artist going to come out? I was like, okay, there's Ice-T. I was like, all right, where's Cypress Hill? Where's Snoop? Where's somebody else? And nothing. So to give everybody an update, a lot of people feel like
slighted.
The West Coast was not represented in that hip hop tribute.
Right.
So they did a 50-year. Yeah, they did a 50-year reunion for hip hop. 1973 is when, hip hop started, and I put started in quotes just like Lonzo mentioned. And the best glimpse of anything West Coast representation was that picture right behind you, Lonzo, that they flashed for like 3 seconds.
Right.
That mentioned Tone Loc, World Class Wrecking Crew. And I caught that. I was like, okay, cool. Shout out to them. So I was like, all right, I'm going to keep watching this. And then at the end, I was so disappointed. And the fact, Lonzo, that they brought out, and no disrespect to Lil Baby, Lil Uzi Vert, Glorilla, but why did they even bring them out at the end? I didn't get that. That could have been Cypress Hill, Snoop Dogg, E40, Tone Loc, Sir Mix-a-Lot. I know he's not from LA or West, but that's Pacific Northwest. I mean, there should have been way more representation, man. Talk to me, dude.
Yeah, and I'm starting to gather, man. More and more, it's not about the realness of the history. It's more about the name value. The name value is what everybody wants to go for, especially for television. If you don't have a big name, you can't draw no big audience, and fuck the truth. And like I said before, man, I would not want to be on stage for the most part. I would like to invitation to the party though. Shit, can the brother get some after party action? Can the brother get? I mean, they had it at the SoFi. What enough tickets? Okay, they had it at the SoFi. 18 of the SoFi like 20,000, something like that. You had enough tickets to find. You could have found tickets for the brothers. You could have had a special West Coast table. Put us on the camera at least a couple of times. Brothers, when we have these conversations right now, man, we know everybody can't be on stage. We know that. We're not unrealistic. I just think that one of my partners went to Slick Rick party, and he had to maneuver to get in there. I'm like, dude, why we have to do that? They're having a party in our backyard, and they didn't even invite us to the shit. Come on, dude. Battle Cat was rocking the skate party, and nobody knew about the skate party until it was already going on. Okay, I'm like, dude, Dre having a skate party at the Palladium, and nobody know nothing about this, but the people working. Come on, man, that ain't how it's supposed to go, Doc. That ain't how it's supposed to go.
And it's not a street
Huh?
thing, but we talked over the phone right after this happened. I know you were pretty upset. I was myself. You were talking about how you compared it to the streets, like they came to our backyard but didn't even check in with the OGs of music. You think, Alonzo, what you think if they're in LA and this is a 50-year anniversary of hip hop, they would at least check in with, and put check in as a joke, but check in with Alonzo Williams and give you they should have rolled out the red carpet for you, dude.
We all felt the same way, man. Like I said before, walk the red carpet. We ain't got enough. The show is only so many minutes per, to do what they got to do. I understand that. That's all fine and dandy, but just be invited to the party and just, at least be there as support for Dre to support his efforts, man. The brother got an award from the Grammys named after him, the Dr. Dre Impact Award. The people who put him on the map or put him in that direction can't even be there to witness it. You would not invite his mama. You would not have his mother there. Okay. I mean, come on, dude. That's almost just. And when it comes to some things, when it comes to the music end, I'm his daddy. Okay, I'm his pops. I'm the dude that was there for the very beginning when nobody else was there. So when nobody else, when the Grammys wasn't paying us no attention, only nigga was paying attention to the West Coast was me. Okay. Hate to sound like it was all about me, but if I wasn't paying attention or laying down these tracks and providing these platforms, record companies, studios, whatever the case may be, I don't know where this shit might have went. And I hate to blow my horn, but sometimes you got to toot your own horn, man, because motherfuckers won't blow for you.
Yeah. And other thing I noticed, and not to make this about, West Coast, whatever it is what it is, but I noticed there wasn't like no Kid Frost, no La Raza, no Mellow Man Ace. I mean, these are people who were pioneers, dude, like who literally pretty much invented a whole different style. And not even to see like just one Latino Hispanic dude thrown in there, a Fat Joe, somebody. I mean, like that. And I haven't heard any Hispanic people tripping off of it. It was just something I was thinking about as you were talking.
Now you know what? Now I got another. I got, as much as disappointed as I was, I got another perspective too. That's a Gemini in me. We can play pro and con.
Okay.
Maybe we may have to realize it ain't our celebration. It ain't our celebration. 50 years of hip hop, it's a celebration. It's like it ain't out. It's a good party, but it ain't my birthday. Okay, it ain't my birthday. You know, it could that whole beginning and of the art of hip hop rap could be debated from various angles, man. You got the Last Poets, you got who was that? Last Poets and other groups out of Watts that was rapping back.
Oh yeah, Watts Prophets.
Watts Prophet, like thank you. Watts Prophets and Last Poets, they was rapping back in the 60s. It wasn't danceable rap. It wasn't what people would play on the radio, but it was thought-provoking rap. You got the dance moves of Don Campbell and the Lockers out of Trade Tech that started a gang of shit here on the West Coast and influenced the East Coast. I'm talking about locking. I'm not talking about pop locking. Back in the 70s when I was trying to be a locker. Yes, I tried to be a locker. I can dance. Locking ain't one of the dances I can do. Okay. But when you start seeing the tidbits and the evolutions, and first I would say, maybe because Kool Herc gave that party, it was.
Thank you, Isaiah. I got your question next, buddy. Thank you, Isaiah.
Maybe because Kool Herc gave the party, and he was doing some things, but we was giving parties too. All right, we was giving parties in 73, 74, but again, we was giving parties based on R&B music, and it was a whole. We playing Ohio players, James Brown. We wasn't trying to lock the beat in. Our main thing as DJs was just to keep the music going. No dead air. That was the whole lesson I learned as a young DJ in broadcast school. Was no dead air. It wasn't about trying to mix, blend, or keep the beat going. So if that's what happened, that's cool. But when did we on the West Coast? When was our birthday? Okay, our birthday could be 1976. It might not be for a couple more years down the road, because we came from a different, we came from a different beginning. We didn't really see. We could, and like I said, our hip hop beginnings, far as hearing hip hop and seeing the impact of hip hop, probably went to like 78. Okay, to keeping it 100. Now there may have been other folks doing things all over the country, but we didn't see it till 78. Okay, 77, 78. And again, we all are dance promoters. Everybody, Uncle Jam's Army, Egyptian Lover, everybody started off being dance promoters. Now, for me, being the last of the triple OGs that started from day one of the evolution from dance promoters to DJs to club owners to hip hop artists, I would have to say I'd have to go back to 1976, fresh out of broadcast school. And here's something I also that kind of throws me off, based on the calculations we have right now. Hip hop is older than disco, and that ain't possible. That ain't possible. You telling me hip hop is older than disco? And disco was kicking ass. Okay, through the 70s. Okay, I'm trying to understand. I understand things happen simultaneously, but disco was a big phenomenon. I need to look it up for sure. But I'm thinking
Thank you,
disco.
Marlon. Good looking out, Marlon.
Much love, Doc. Thank you. Um, I'm looking disco. Man, come on. I got to look it. I got to look it up. But disco was kicking ass in the
Oh,
70s.
I'll look it up right now.
Yeah, disco was kicking ass in the 70s. So, you telling me disco came in and died, and hip hop hadn't even been born yet? Okay, so this is what I'm saying as a true pioneer. Okay, as a person that was on the ground, boots on the ground back in the very beginning when in the disco era, watched it die. Okay, and then when we came out with hip hop, nobody wanted to fuck with hip hop because they said this it's gonna die like disco did. So if disco was came and gone by 78, 79.
70, 79, 78 was when it, so it's, they're saying it started in 70s, 1970, Valentine's Day, when David Manusco opened the loft in New York City, and it rapidly faded in 1980. So, and it says it was at its peak at 78, 79.
Okay. But it didn't say when it started though, did it?
Yeah, it said 1970.
1970. Okay, so yeah.
Literally 1970.
So yeah, okay, all right, there you go. Thank you, Dusty. Appreciate that. So if disco started 1970, that make and you saying disco and hip hop came in right behind disco, but see, this is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm experiencing. I ain't talking about what I'm seeing. I'm experiencing this. In this, like I said before, when I'm shopping my records, hip hop records, nobody wanted to jump on hip hop because they said it was going to die just like disco did. Okay. They said it ain't going to last. It's just a fad, blah, blah, blah. Shows you what they know. Okay. But again, we talk about at that time, I'm talking about 76, 77. No, 77, 78. So anyway, folks, I just, it's one thing for somebody to tell you some shit. It's another thing to live this shit. And I live that shit. So you can't run. Plus, I did the numbers. I'm 65. Kool Herc is 2 years older than me. That means in 1973, I was 15. He was 17 doing dances. Very possible. It's again, like I said before, just because it's their birthday don't mean it's our birthday. Me and you both Geminis, Dusty. Your birthday is your birthday. Mine is mine. Huh?
Coast. Yep.
We may have to establish the West Coast.
You said keep going.
We may have to establish our own beginning of our own West Coast hip hop because and I'm quite sure down south would have its birth, Midwest would have its birth because everybody just started at the same time. So if New York claiming they're 50 years old, cool. We may be 47, 48, but maybe we may want to consider doing that. That way we ain't got to be mad at nobody. Because one thing about Lonzo, if anybody knows about Lonzo, I ain't waiting nobody to give me shit. If I want something, I'm gonna go get it. So if we can sit here and get mad about not being represented in hip hop, but we can do our own damn thing and represent ourselves. Because again, our birthday ain't got to be everybody's birthday. If you invented the cars in a car in 2000,
no one better than you.
If the car was invented.
Keep going. There's a delay.
If the car was invented in, let's say, 1920, well, the Chevrolet was invented in 1925. So, damn it, that's the birthday of the Chevrolet. 1920 when the car was invented, but this car was invented over here and this era over here. So, it's very possible we may have to consider our own birthday so that we can celebrate in our own way. And I wouldn't not include them, but we got a different history.
Yep. And no one better than you, the godfather of West Coast hip hop, to get that started. I think you just started something. So we're gonna have our own birthday. I like that. Let me get these super chats because I don't want to miss anyone's super chat. Shout out to Isaiah Edwards. He says, Uncle Zoe, Hollywood is all for show. We all know the contributions of our heroes and founding fathers. We love y'all. Grammys ain't for us anyway.
What say you? Know what? I totally agree, and you know, it's good. If we weren't as big as we were, they wouldn't pay us no attention. Okay, if we didn't have no billionaires and multimillionaires in our industry, they would pay us no attention. They don't pay lo-fi no attention. They don't pay reggae a whole lot of attention. They don't pay nobody a lot of attention. If you got some money, we're gonna pay you some attention. And that again goes back to what I was saying earlier in regards to name value. The true art don't really have the value of what the artist has projected. And understand what I'm saying. The true art of making music is overshadowed by the artists of the game. You know, Jay-Z or Dre or somebody big is not a part of it. Nobody is interested, and that's the world we live in right now.
Yep. There it is. Marlon, thank you so much, Marlon, for the 9.99. He says, "We all know the truth. Unc, you are the beginning of West Coast hip hop. Give Unc and World Class Wrecking Crew their flowers. Don't throw it at them." Thank you, Marlon.
Much love, Martin.
Real talk, real talk. Well, let's keep it going, Lonzo. And before we go on, I want to ask everybody out there to hit the like button if you haven't already, and please hit the subscribe button if this is your first time joining the show. But 50 years of hip hop, and once again, we put that in quotes, Lonzo. Did you ever think? Because everybody else was saying what they were saying, but you always had your own mindset. Did you ever think hip hop would make it this far to where if we're not the number one, we're at least number two to country in genre music?
Yeah, no,
right? Generating money.
Nope. I can tell you some. Oh yeah, nope. I'm not gonna do that. That ain't what how I roll. I thought it was gonna be something that was gonna be fun for a while. I thought it was gonna be something that was gonna make it was making money. And I think for me, what the part that really threw me for a curveball was when it went gangster. Because I just did a presentation last week for Chase Bank, and while I was doing this presentation, something dawned on me. I was talking. Lady asked me why there wasn't more females in hip hop, and I said, you know something, hip hop, West Coast hip hop especially, took a diversion from its roots real fast. Even the people that did it in the beginning changed up and started doing something else. What I mean by that is World Class Wrecking Crew, perfect example. We went from being anti-gangsters with songs like Gang Bang You're Dead, Juice, Surgery, Fly, whatever the case may be, and Lovers and Turn Off the Lights, and half the group start shooting people. Okay, and that's the part I never thought that would be acceptable. Okay, it's and again, they didn't start off doing that in the very beginning, but at some point in time, it evolved to that. And I thought at some point in time, somebody's going to shut it down. I thought at some point in time, somebody would, you know what, we can't allow this right here at NAACP or somebody. Because again, you're talking to a young man who watched the NAACP shut down the black exploitation movies. So I just knew that one of these black groups, NAACP, Urban League, or somebody would step up and say, I can't do this right here. But it never happened. Again, I'm playing chess, but I'm playing checkers, they playing chess. They had another agenda that came along with other situations, crack, prison to school pipeline, all that shit came, and I didn't see that. Man, I would never thought that would ever happen. I never thought anybody I knew would have anything to do with that. So it's really the answer to the question is no, man. No, I can't sit here and tell you I thought it would be. Nope.
Man. Well, I'm glad we are, because I remember my aunt and everybody telling me, and my grandma, everybody telling me that it ain't gonna last, it's a fad and all that. So I am glad that we are at least making money off of it.
But
let's go back, Lonzo. Back. Go ahead.
The question is it really good money though, Doc? And everybody, oh man, they're making money. But who's paying the cost for them to make money? Who's paying the cost? Offset paid the cost. Um, a lot of artists, 200 people paid the cost last year alone. We talked about most of them on this show. We talked about a gang of brothers in the last 3-4 years that paid the cost for hip hop, and that was never the intention, man. You know, when you take the focus off of having a good time and make it a murderous, vengeful, hateful situation, you get what you got. But again, you're still making money though. And if the people in charge only motivation or only purpose is to make money, whatever happens ain't my problem. Give me my check. It's like the mafia in that movie, Goodfellas. Fuck you, pay me. Two niggas got killed at a party. Fuck you, pay me. Baby got shot. Fuck you, pay me. A church got shot up. Fuck you, pay me. And that's basically the attitude.
Yep. Anthony Atkinson doubling up on something he said. He said even MC Hammer started rapping.
And that's when his ass disappeared too. That's when he went hump in the bumps.
He was a gangster in the song.
He went hump in the bumps. Negro, you can't do that, right? They weren't ready for that. Hammer. We were talking about. I was talking about Hammer earlier. Let me calm down. Y'all done got me fired up. I'm gonna have to lift the offering in a minute. Hammer was talked out of his career. I remember at my house listening to people tell me how Hammer can't rap. Hammer is sold out because Hammer got a commercial. He got a Pepsi commercial. He got a chicken commercial. And people buying Hammer pants. He got a cartoon. They all was hating on Hammer because Hammer was making money. Hammer was the first rapper to go commercial. Everybody else was doing a political thing, and we all know politics, political shit don't get no money. Hammer was dancing with James Brown, Michael Jackson, had a Hammerman cartoon on Saturday. He was had chicken commercials, he had Pepsi commercials. He was smiling and dancing, and they thought he was buck dancing. He was buck dancing all the way to the bank. Okay, but anybody that knew Hammer wasn't no joke. Don't let them dance in bag ass pants for you. Anybody that knew Hammer wasn't no joke. Okay, they said Hammer sold out. Okay, Hammer did not sell out. Hammer bought in. It's a difference. Okay, Hammer made $30 million in 1 year. Okay, made everybody go, what the fuck? Okay, but Hammer also took care of a lot of people to the point to a fault. Okay, he took care of a lot of people to a fault, and he went down with the ship. The shit stopped selling. He's still paying for cars and leases or whatever the case may be, and his horses ain't winning no races, but he still kept doing what he was doing. Now he ain't basic broke. He ain't as rich as he was, but he ain't poverty broke. He just ain't got all the money he used to have. He's still doing very well for a brother from Oakland. But at that time, him and Will Smith was two of the most disrespected brothers in the game. And they still outlasted a whole lot of people. When the game changed up, they were the two focal points of haterade in the streets. I said it again. I've said it before. I'm gonna say it now. The streets talked Hammer out of his career. Will said, "Fuck y'all. I'm gonna keep on dancing, keep on doing these mama raps, and start making movies." Okay. Will said, "Fuck you." He told Wendy Williams, "I'll buy the station and fire your ass." All right. That was his G move back then. Okay. So that being said, man, it all depends on what you wanted to represent and how the streets perceived you. Meanwhile, the streets perceived something else, turned it into a common practice. Fuck that. They turned murder and drug selling into a common practice and a way to success, and we ain't been right since then.
Man,
we still ain't got back. We
always know how to break it down, Lonzo.
What's my boy name from the movie Life? We can't get right. We still can't get right. And that ain't Hammer's fault.
Yep.
We bought into some bullshit and we can't get right. That's why we still having conversations about the N-word. We still having conversations about who is what, and what we gonna do. Everybody else is moving. We trying to figure out how we gonna get in the car. It's some bullshit.
Ain't that crazy?
That's some bullshit. Jang-a-lang, jang-a-lang. Go ahead, Doc.
We have 60 people in the building and about 30-something likes. So if everybody can just hit that like button real quick. It's anonymous. We're not going to know that you hit it. There's not going to be an alert. It just really helps out the algorithm. So if you could please do that, that would literally mean everything to us. Now, let's continue, Lonzo. I want to ask you about, I like this West Coast hip-hop conversation. We're going to represent the West Coast tonight because we were not properly represented at the Grammys. But let's talk about early West Coast hip-hop radio. And while you talk about this, I'm going to run. I forgot to realize I did not let my dog out, so he probably has to pee. But who were some of the first people to play hip-hop on LA radio? I'll be back in like 1 minute.
You know what? My man called me today. We had a long conversation today, and that's Greg Mack. Well, Greg Mack started playing hip-hop in LA in the beginning, but there was another small station that was also playing hip-hop around the same time. They were much smaller, didn't have the same power. That was KGFJ. But when it came to the people that actually embraced hip-hop and helped us, World Class Wrecking Crew, LA Dream Team, Eazy-E, everybody get on the road to success, booking shows, helping us promote events, that was K-Day. That was Greg Mack. And Greg and I were talking today, and I was saying, man, I said, back then we had a trifecta that could never be reproduced. If it does, it's going to take a whole lot more money than what we had, what we made. Anthony Atkins, much love. I see you. I'm going to get to you as soon as Dusty get back. If we tried to do what we were doing now, it would take a lot more money because we didn't do it for the money. And that's the difference between now and then. We did it for the love of the game. Okay. We made money, of course, but it didn't cost us a whole lot of money to do it. I think about how much money it cost me to rent Eve After Dark right now. Shit. Back then, that was a lot of money to me. But if I went back there now, and if somebody else had the same building, the same size, probably cost me double. The Eve was 5,000 square feet. Okay. The average rent on a building these days is like $1.75 a square foot. That's gonna cost me about $10,000 a month. Not to mention all the benefits I had. So to buy advertising these days on the radio station, they're talking about anywhere from $150 to $200 an hour, depending on what time of day you're dealing with. We had prime time. We had put together the traffic jam for K-Day, and we had a prime 15-minute slot from 5 to 5:15 every day. That's all we had, and it was brand new. The most recorded 15 minutes in radio, we produced that every day. Dre Yeller produced that every day in my studio, and my job was to go to K-Day, drop it off, and bring back more records for the next day. Okay. Meanwhile, I'm doing Dudo. So, it's the desire that it wasn't a lot of technology, but it just made for a aligning of the moons that we'll probably never see again. I was telling Greg this afternoon, man, it would be hard. I would be scared to put 500,000 kids in a room because somebody probably gonna die. I don't want that on my conscience. That's a damn thing. And here's a brother whose whole career was built on throwing parties for youngsters because nobody wanted to deal with them. Not because they were dangerous. It had so many adult clubs, you didn't have to worry about no kids. And we found a gap. We found something that was missing, and we filled the void. Bottom line, simple as that. And speaking of that, dude, I'm gonna drop some game right quick. Oh, let me see something right quick. If I could do something, I wonder if this will work. I'm gonna try something right quick. Let me see something, Dusty. Hold on there, Doc. I'm gonna see something. See if this will work. Hold on there. Let me see if this will work. I'm gonna drop some grown ass man enlightenment right quick, folks. That was my intro to grown ass man enlightenment. Um, Recently I was talking to a buddy of mine, and we came to the conclusion that in order to be successful in any industry, you're gonna take some losses. You're gonna have some wins, but most of all, you're gonna find and you're gonna have four different things you may experience at any given time. You're gonna have a win, a loss, a lesson, but last but not least, you might find an opportunity. If you understand what I'm saying, a win, a loss, a lesson, an opportunity. A win, everybody know what a win is. You put your money on the pass line and then you hit. Everybody know what a loss is. Okay? Loss is you put your money in the pass line and you lose. But the lesson is, do you still want to play this game or not? If you find you don't want to play this game, you find another game. It's an opportunity to win at another game. Okay, I hope you understand what I'm saying here. Win, loss, opportunity. As a businessman, I've always found myself taking advantage of the opportunities presented in front of me. Most people don't do that. Most people will have an opportunity and pass on it. Somebody will talk you out of it because they don't understand what you're trying to do. I've on my Facebook page today, I posted a reel about that situation I talked about a couple of weeks ago with me, Unknown, and Above the Law. Okay, I ran into Hutch today. I saw Hutch at Laylaw's funeral, and I also saw Mike T from Compton's Most Wanted and Chill. So we sitting there kicking it in front of the Angela's funeral home, which is not a good place to kick it, but that was the occasion for the day. It was me, Mike T, Chill, and Warren G. And someone said, Lonzo, break out your camera. I broke out my camera, my phone, and I didn't want to take a video. Sometimes it's funny about taking pictures and videos at funerals, but now things is commonplace, so I had to kind of get past that. And I was telling Hutch, and Hutch verified it, how I got talked out of seeing that. Above the Law, because Laylaw brought Chun Hutch, came to my house too. Come to my house, played me the tape. Oh man, they sound too much like N.W.A, blah, blah, blah. And then I forgot he just did a deal for Compton's Most Wanted. And then he took Compton's Most Wanted, tried to take him to Ruthless after Laylaw got him a deal after Laylaw got Above the Law deal at Ruthless. And I'm just saying, sometimes I had an opportunity that I passed on that I should have taken advantage of. Because Above the Law was dope as fuck. Laylaw did the beats. All I had to do was manage or put them on my label, and maybe could have a deal with Rufus later on, an imprint deal later on. But I didn't take advantage of the opportunity. So that's the opportunity I missed out on. I missed a few of them, but I've also picked up on quite a few of them as well. So as you move through life, whether it's your job, when the Eve got shut down in 2019. It was a loss.
Thank you, OG Steve. Shout out OG Steve.
Yes, much love, Steve. When the Eve got shut down in 2019, it was a loss for me, but it also was a lesson. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me back up. When I lost my last job in 1979 at Record Shack, that was a loss for me. But it was a lesson because I realized I didn't want nobody having control of my money again in my life. It felt like shit. I didn't do nothing. They thought I did something. They suspected me of having another job or even stealing. That was the rumor. He might be stealing because he got a brand new truck. He got clothes. He ain't, we only giving him $15 a week. He's getting his money in records. He must be stealing. White people didn't understand that. So they fired my ass. But I learned the lesson was find you something that you can control. The opportunity came when my dad turned me on to Jeffy. And as scared as I was scared the motherfucker. Shit. I was not ready for a $2,500 a month rental fee. That's what the Eve cost me a month. $2,500 a month at 21 years old. $2,500, $600 a week. Okay.
Wow.
That's what it cost me. And at first, it scared the shit out of me. Not to mention I got to pay security guards and light bill. But you know what? You're gonna do one or two things. When pressure hits your ass, pressure gonna do one or two things to you. I'm sorry, when heat does two things to you, you're gonna do one of two things. Either you're gonna get strong like steel or melt like a motherfucking candle. What you gonna do? You're gonna get strong as steel or melt like a motherfucking candle. And I couldn't melt. I wasn't allowed to melt. My daddy wouldn't let me melt. Jeffy wouldn't let me melt. So I became tough as steel. And that's why I'm still standing today, folks. So yes, when you get an opportunity, remember that shit, man. Win, loss, lesson, opportunity. And sometimes opportunity may not be something in your wheelhouse, but you got to step outside your comfort zone and step the fuck up and get tough like steel and don't melt like a motherfucking candle. And that's it for me. Go ahead, Dusty.
That's that game, man. I love that shit, man. Definitely love that shit. Appreciate that. Appreciate you, OG Steve, once again. Shout out to the Bronx. I'm loving this conversation, Lonzo. I'm loving it. Explain how hard it was for a group like N.W.A. or for artists like Too Short back in the 80s, late 80s, to go platinum without radio play. And second part of that question is, explain how important radio was back then, because now radio is pretty much dead. Let's be real. We have podcasts and Spotify and this and this and that. And I think if you ask the average 17-year-old today to find 105.9 on the dial, they'll look at you like you have three arms. But explain how important radio was back then, and also, like I said, how N.W.A. and Too Short, how important it was that they sold all those records without
back then
any radio play.
Back then, there were two record industries. There was the majors, and there was independents. And the independents had just as big of a network as the majors did. They couldn't move a lot of records as fast. They could move a lot of records longer, okay? Because they didn't have the same expense, they didn't have the same overhead and expenses. So when we first started dropping records in 81, 82, we were doing our underground mixes, the bootlegs, the Z-Rocks. And there was a record store here, my boy Cletus Anderson. He was VIP Records. He was hot. He told me on this very show at one point in time, when he would get his shipment from I think it was CBS or Sony, they would just drop a container off in his back of his store, and they would unload the container as he need be, because he was moving that many records. He would just drop a container off. Okay. I walked in there. I didn't know him from a can of paint. Told him what I was doing. Played him something new. He gave me a shot, and that shit started selling. But Cletus knew the people up north. They knew the people in Arizona. He knew people down south. So we had a whole network. It was a whole network that would. And back then, the independent game was so cold because it was cash money, baby. Wasn't no Cash App. Wasn't no Venmo. It wasn't no PayPal. It was send me some records. I'm like, Western Union your money. Okay. All you had to do was give a cat the shipping number, and your money was on. Once you got the shipping number from UPS or FedEx, wherever you shipping it through, then they hit the Western Union. Don't make me start smiling, man. I'm having flashbacks over here, dude. I'm having fucking flashbacks. I forgot about. Sometimes I'm glad I fuck with you, Dusty, because you bring back shit I forgot about, and that's how we did the shit. Records, physical records was like printing money, man. A record back then cost you 75 cents to make. You sell it for $2-3, depending on who you were selling it to. And sometimes I sell it to Cletus for $2.50 or $2.25. He put 50 cents on it and sell it to somebody else. Every time that record left somebody else's hand, they put a quarter, 50 cents, sometimes $1, depending on what part of the country you in. And if you buy 50 records, you just made $50. And a lot of times, records was moving so fast back then because everybody wanted to have them, you couldn't keep them in the store. And if you had something that was unique, especially if the radio wasn't playing them, the streets got a buzz on it. Because back then, cassettes was the shit. Cassettes was the shit. So if you got a cassette, and Too Short was doing cassettes, and we all was doing cassettes and 12 inches. And if you got something, man, you could just drop off. Come on, dude, drop it off. A cassette was maybe 86 cents a piece back then. It was cheaper to make a record than it was a cassette. And dude, you dropping off boxes at a time, 200-300 at a time, and it didn't take long to, for you to make it. And at the plant, it's like anything else. The plants see you got something hot, they'll put everybody else on hold for a minute and press your shit because they know they're gonna get their money faster. Everybody gonna pay him, but if I can give Lonzo these two pressing plants, these two presses over here to keep his shit going, he gonna bring back money every week, every day, because I'm keep on copying. It's like a dope dealer. If you making dope that you selling dope that fast, you gonna keep on copying. You gonna make it possible to keep on doing my thing, and I got a network. So, and when radio finally started accepting the stuff, they would play it late at night. They would chop it up, reverse all the bad words and stuff. By that time, it was already in the streets. The streets was the ultimate promotional PR department. So when the radio finally got it, it was like people back then took pride. Well, I'm sorry. Let me back up. Record stores back then took pride in selling you the hottest shit. What I mean by that is record people, record clerks, record salesmen were real salesmen. Okay, you walk in the store to buy Marvin Gaye, they'll play Luther for your ass while you in the store. Okay, what was that? You go in the store to buy Cameo, they'll play the new, or you go in the store to buy Slave, they play the new Cameo in your ass. Oh shit! It was like it's the same thing that the radio stations do now. They play the algorithms play certain type of music based on the previous song. So when you have Spotify or whatever the case may be, you'll keep hearing the same type of song. That's why so many people make the same kind of music the same way, especially these new artists, to stay in their algorithm so they can ride that wave to success that the other person already didn't pave the way for. But this is how records got broke. And sometimes you would have something like, check this out, man. And they drop a Too Short or N.W.A. or a record. What is that? Oh, man, that's the shit. And now the consumer wants to be the first person in the hood to have that shit. He want to be the first one. Oh man, I check this out. Because you had a whole different mentality. Because you ain't having so much money to spend back then. There wasn't no automatically play it because you got a phone on your hip shit. You had to go spend money for this shit, man. And cats would not tell you where they got it from for maybe a week or two. Okay? They might not tell you where they got it from. They want to be the first one on the block, the first one in the hood to have certain shit. I remember me and Unknown was promoting CMW. And we rode through Compton, almost got shot 2 or 3 times that the weekend. Because we walking on a gang of cats, and then we got stuff. What you got for me? Hold on, man, calm down. I'm gonna give you this cassette. They start bumping that shit, man. They loved it. And that the boom boxes and shit became the street radios. All them back in the day, that's when niggas had them 12-inch speakers in their cars, and they windows be rattling and the trunks be rattling like they got drunk in the trunk and shit. Yeah, that shit came back from that. That was our fucking radio. So a cat go to the park and crank that shit up. Who is that, man? Oh man, that's that nigga Too Short. Who's Too Short? This nigga, some nigga out of Oakland, man. That nigga dope as fuck. He talking slow, talking about hoes and pimps and shit. Nobody ever heard that shit, but nobody from Dolomite. But Dolomite is as OG as he was. He is kind of whack. But now they got a young nigga talking this shit, and he on beat. He got a different kind of style, but motherfuckers is feeling it, and that made a big difference. So everybody,
man, I love these old stories, dude. Just as much as you love going back in the days, I love.
Everybody was invested in the success of the record, man. Because when I gave you a physical product, if you bought it at the right price, you gonna make you a quarter. You gonna make 50 cents on it. Make 75 cents on the motherfucker. So yeah, I'm gonna promote this shit for you. Because every time I ship it to somebody, I'm gonna get paid too. So everybody was eating. That's what made it work. Everybody was eating. So if Cletus can't cut a deal with Lonzo, I tell you what, man, Lonzo, it's costing you 75 cents to make these 12 inches. How about if you double your money when you leave the pressing plant? You double your money. Okay, what you mean? I'm gonna buy them for $1.50, but I'm gonna buy 500 of them. Okay, I'm gonna buy 500 and pay you cash when you get to the house. So all I did went to the pressing plant, went to his store, and dropped off the records. And I made 4 times 500 times 75 cents. Okay, the least I did was $1. I say for $1. I made $500 just on him from going to El Segundo to Crenshaw and 39th Street. Okay? And I still got to go see the swap meet, Steve Yano, my other connections, Grover, and other folks. Okay? So that was just one of my stops. So when you got somebody like that, and here it is now, studio time, listen to some of that old shit, man. That shit was made on tin cans and rubber bands, okay? That shit was sounding horrible. We didn't go to the big studio till we went to surgery and juice. Slices cut on a 8-track. Okay? We almost didn't have enough tracks to make the goddamn song. But this is how we did the shit back in the day. And because everybody in the game was eating, the network, that's my EDC, the Out the Trunk network was in full effect.
Did Eazy-E get your Out of the Trunk network from Lonzo?
Yes, he did. You goddamn right. I'm the king of.
What is that?
Huh? That's what we call
it. The selling out the trunk, of course. No. Too short. Okay, gotcha.
Understand this. When one thing about the record business, it's like the dope game. If I don't know you, I won't buy from you. Why? Because if I give you this money today, where you gonna be at tomorrow if this shit don't sell? The record business at that time is 100% refundable. That's the only bad part about this shit. It's 100% refundable. What that means is, if your shit don't sell, either bring me some shit that will sell or give me my money back. I'm not gonna put this shit on the shelf next to some other shit. Give you the same. Why would I give you money for this shit? Nobody don't know. I don't know you or this product. I'm gonna give you the same money I can give Polygram or Mercury or what these other labels for their shit. So after that, because understand. People forget my last job was selling records over the phone. So they all knew me. They knew my voice from being on the phone for all this time. So now I finally knocked on their door and they matched the voice with the face. And I'm a pretty good salesman. They gave it a shot and motherfuckers jumped on the shit. But again, now guys come up behind me, they ain't gonna buy from them because they don't know them. So I got to roll to the swap meet with Easy, talk to Mr. Park at the swap meet. Mr. Park, this is my friend. Would you check out what he got here? And Easy cussing and shit. Oh, no. And then after a while, people are like, hey, man, what is that? Oh, shit, it's good. You got more? So now the door is open. And see, everybody wants to be the plug. When it comes to the record business, everybody wants to be the plug. Okay? What I mean by that is, if you are the swap meet, if you are the Long Beach, the Compton swap meet, they all buy from me. They all buy and trade from each other. So whoever is the main drop-off person, he get to put that quarter and 50 cents on the other swap meets. But you don't go to Slauson after you left Long Beach, you're gonna get cut off. Don't go to Delamo after you leave Long Beach, because you're gonna get cut off. I mean, Compton, because you're gonna get cut off, because they all work together. And if you the plug, you got to be exclusive plug for one person. And it took a while for us to understand that, because we trying to hit everybody, and they got no. I buy from you. You don't sell nobody else. Okay, all swap meets belong to me. Okay, you sell to me, I sell to them. Okay, cool, but you got to buy at least 200. No problem. I'm selling the swap meets 225, 250. So I pick up my records every time. I could literally figure out how much money I'm gonna make just by counting how many records I sold. Because I average $1 a record, $1 plus. So if I got 1,000 records in my trunk, I'm finna make $1,000 that day. Simple as that. Make 4-5 stops. I'm gonna have a pocket full of money by the end of the night. And and Lord have mercy, when CDs hit, that shit was awesome, because CDs because CDs were more expensive. CDs were much more expensive, so you can put
not as much to make, not as much as to produce.
No, they were well in the beginning they were expensive to make, but then once they changed the process, cut out the glass masters, just went straight to the other process. I forgot what they called it, but they used to have a glass master. The glass master cost you $3,500. They cut the glass master out after about 2 or 3 years, and it made it much more affordable. So now CDs went from being like $4 or $5 a piece, then went to like $1, but you still selling them for 10. Okay, CD was $10, was $8.50 wholesale. Okay, they was retailing for 15 and 18 depending on who you was. So if you're making CDs for $1 and you wholesaling them for $8.50, shit, damn, shit, nigga, it's a good day at the house. It's a good day. Okay, it costs you maybe $1, $1.50 at the most with everything, and you sell them for $8. Shit. Even the second tier man who buying them for you for $8, he gonna put another $1 on it. He gonna sell them for $9. Okay, and if you sell, the store gonna sell them for $11 or $12. Everybody made money on CDs. Only problem with CDs, the motherfuckers the quality was too good, and it made them bootleggable. They became too easy to bootleg, and that's what killed the CDs. It's hard to bootleg records. Cassettes were easy, but you lost quality with records. Cassettes were easy to make, but you lost quality with cassettes.
The more you record,
the more you record, the worse they sound.
Just like the same one.
CD, motherfucker was cloned. Okay, when you started making CDs, your ass was making money because you can beat a nigga's ass. Only thing would kill you with CDs was the artwork, because back then the $4 artwork was expensive as shit to make. But after a while, when they started making CDRs, niggas said, fuck the goddamn artwork. Just give me the music. But understand the bootleg game, no. When the movies came out on DVD, they had the artwork and the quality. But the movie industry shut that shit down like nobody's business. And then all of a sudden, Netflix killed the whole game. That's real shit.
Man. Let's see. We got time for one more. Art Chavez. Lonzo, was there any late 70s, early 80s mixtapes of parties recorded from West Coast artists that floated around the community or sold at swap meets?
From what year?
He said late 70s, early 80s. That's probably a little too early for mixtapes, right?
Back then, go to YouTube, look at Z-Rock. Look at Z-Rocks, look at New York Scratch Masters, look at House Scratch Party. All that shit was mine. Because we started making records because at Eve After Dark, we still was rocking the Eve, and Unknown had found these records out of New York that was cool. There was mixes, but they had a lot of New York songs. We couldn't play the whole damn thing. So we figured we could make up my damn self. And that's what I'm saying. That was opportunity. Okay? We saw opportunity. We didn't invent the shit. We didn't invent it. We just saw opportunity. We was winning because people liked the mixes, because when you put a mix on, you can go take a piss, go dance, whatever the case may be. We was losing because some of the music was not Eve music. Okay? And then the lesson was we got to make our own we got to figure out a way to get our own records, make our own shit. And the opportunity was I bought a 4-track recorder and 1,200 turntables, took advantage of the opportunity to create a whole new industry. And those same records became the mixes for Greg Mack on K-Day for the traffic jam. So Greg would have us do a mix. I had a 4-track studio, reel to reels, the whole 9 yards. Greg would have us do a mix. He do 5 mixes. We did 5 mixes a week. Okay. And most of the mixes turned into Z-Rocks. Okay. But it takes a lot longer to make records than it did it takes longer to make records than it did cassettes. That was the only problem. Okay. It takes at least a week to make one to process a record, as opposed to a cassette. You can burn them motherfuckers right away. CDs, you can burn them motherfuckers right away. A fucking record, you got to process that shit, and that takes forever.
History class, baby. See what we did, and I like how you broke that down, Lonzo. we took this shun from the Grammys 50th hip hop anniversary tribute. We took this and we made an opportunity out of this to give people a breakdown of West Coast hip hop, and it couldn't have came from a better place. And I think we really need to take it a step further, Lonzo, and start a West Coast hip hop birthday, something along those lines.
I think we need to have our own celebration, man. I mean,
we'll get together offline in the near future.
I'm not mad at nobody, but I think we need to have our own celebration in our own way, some way, form, or fashion for West Coast hip hop. Because we did a whole lot, man. If we didn't, but a big ass picnic, I don't give a damn if it's a big picnic or a concert or whatever the case may be. We need to have our own fucking event, okay? Because our birthday for hip hop is different from the West Coast, from the East Coast. As simple as that. You know, we all brothers and sisters in the game, but we got different birthdays. Simple as that.
Yep. Yep. Always a pleasure, man. Damien's been asking this question. I know we've talked about it before. He says, any pictures with you and Eazy-E together, and did MC Ren work with the
goddamn film, not a damn slide. I can't, dude. I can't, dude. We didn't have cameras in our pockets back then. I don't have a picture of me, Cube, or I got a new picture with me and Cube from a few years back, but nothing from back in the day. Same thing with Eazy. Didn't have pictures back in. Didn't have nothing back in the day with Eazy. Now Eazy carried a camera. He had a camera all the time. At one time, he'd walk around with a goddamn video camera, and I'm quite sure it's probably somewhere with a gang of footage from his old VHS camera. It might have been a mini DV or something like that. But yeah, no, dude. And Ren never worked with World Class Record Crew. It was funny because when I did my book, of all the people I know from that era, Ren was probably the one I got the least interaction with. And his birthday is the same day as mine. Me, Ren, and Tupac, all Geminis, June 16th. Cube told me that shit. Other than that, I have no interaction with my man. We talk, but he don't talk that much.
Yeah. You can't find too many interviews with MC Ren.
He don't talk that much, you know. He's not. I tell you, the person you're gonna probably find the next fewer interviews with is Kool Herc. For a brother that's done credit for discovering hip hop, I can't find no interviews with him no place. Good luck. If you find one, let me know. Send it to me.
There it is, man. Always a pleasure every Tuesday, and make sure you check out his other show, Lonzo's show on Fridays, with Dr. Dre, the Dr. Dre from Yo MTV Rap. They have their thing going on, Legendary Connects. It's a great show with the homegirl Bridget. Always a pleasure, man. We gave West Coast some love tonight, and I love that.
Hold on there, folks. I want y'all to do me a favor, man. I just launched a new TV channel. I ain't told Dusty yet because I was gonna wait, but it's a Compton Entertainment channel. It's not official. It's not running yet, but I got my website up. The Compton Entertainment channel. I got some old shows from my show, Issues in the Hood. I got some video shows up there, folks. We're about to go global with this shit. We already global on the internet, but I believe in ownership. So I have my own channel. It's called the Compton Entertainment channel. I want y'all to sign up for the channel, be amongst the first 10,000 people. So you get free subscriptions and the whole 9 yards. We should be up in about 2 more weeks. We'll be on Roku. We'll be on Fire Stick. We'll be on Amazon. Xbox. We're gonna be on all platforms. If you know, remember I did have a channel before, the Homegrown Media Network. We was only limited to Roku. We're gonna be on Roku and all the above, folks. So if you get a chance to, I'm putting it in the chat room in the chat right now. ComptonENTchannel.com. That's the website. The website is already up. I just need y'all to go to when you get a chance to lock it in, go to the website and sign up for be one of our first 10,000 subscribers so we can blow this thing up. We're gonna have a Compton History channel on there. We're gonna have a Compton College channel along with my independent movies. If you got somebody with some independent movies, let me holler at them, folks. I'm trying to make it happen. I'm doing the same thing I've been doing all my life, providing opportunities for up and coming artists. That's what I do. Providing opportunity for up and coming artists. This time we're gonna do it for the video makers. And I'm gonna have a new artist channel. So folks, if you got some people with some videos or somebody got something to say, trust me, it's gonna be on and cracking, folks. Much love to everybody in the chat room. Everybody that came through, much love to you, Dusty. Woo.
Always a pleasure, man. Thank you so much, dude. Thank you to everybody in the chat. And before you go, please hit that like button if you haven't already. And shout out to Big A, man. You already know it's all love, dude. One of the first dudes to just put me on and all that stuff. So shout out to Big A, man. Ruthless.
Man, I'm tired. Yeah, doing this show with you.
I feel you, man. It's been a long day, man.
But
I love it, baby. I love it, man. Always a pleasure, my man. You have a great week.
Everybody out there, y'all. See y'all next week. God willing. Peace.